Joe Biden has reportedly been eyeing tomorrow, April 25th, as the day to launch his re-election bid because it would be 4 years to the day since he announced his 2020 run for the presidency. But it comes with some questions about whether he is the candidate who Democrats want. President Joe Biden at the White House honoring Teachers of the Year. Tomorrow, he may honor his stated plans to run again in 2024.
Donald Trump has been out there for months now, and it was important for Biden to stake his claim on the presidency and on continuing the presidency. The longer he waits, the more advantage he gives to the Republican Party. Also, the longer he waits, the more speculation there's going to be that he may not run.
But as voters await the announcement, a new poll that asked people if Biden should run again shows only 26% of Americans think he should, and less than half of Democrats, 47%, want to see Biden run again.
I'm a Biden supporter.
But Eric Cornfield says he does have some concerns about the president.
Unfortunately, I'd have to say a bit age. He's seems to have been slipping a bit in recent years.
Biden, who is the oldest president at age 80, would be 82 if reelected and 86 when he would finish a second term.
I just don't think we should get into age. Age is nothing but a number, really. And it depends how active and how together he still is.
When questioned about his age, Biden has responded by saying, "Just watch me." But some voters want someone younger.
I don't think that Joe Biden should be running again because he has policies that I enjoy, but I do feel that it's time for other Democrats to kind of take up his mantle.
If Biden runs as expected, voters will be watching him closely.
He's going to have to show that he can not only be a vigorous president, but he's going to be a vigorous campaigner. He's going to have to be in the White House, but he's also going to have to be out in the field.
4 years ago, Biden released a video to launch his presidential bid, and there's some talk that he could do the same thing this time around. The president telling reporters at the White House today that he will let people know, quote, real soon.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC 7 Chicago Eyewitness News.